Today I'd like to finish the discussion that I started on self-hatred. Now, it's been a journey for me. It has changed my life. It's opened up my eyes to so much self-awareness in how I hated myself and rejected myself. And when I did the first part, I was really taken back at how much it resonated with so many of you who are unfaithful spouses who really connected with that. And so I want to give you a few points today to try and continue the healing process and continue the discussion. Because hating ourselves is never going to bring healing. Despising ourselves for what we did isn't going to bring healing. I hated what I did, and then I hated myself for doing what I did. I then hated, because it goes in progressions, right? I hated that I was so weak that I felt like I needed to do what I did in order to experience what I experienced. I hated my frailty. I hated the weakness that was inside of me. And so I'll just tell you, man, it's a downhill spiral when we start hating ourselves and we start condemning ourselves. Now, I have to graciously say this to you, betrayed spouses, the way to help someone who deals with self-hatred and self-rejection is not by wanting them to suffer, because in many ways, right, they've cheated, they've had an affair, and so part of you, just being honest, wants them to suffer, and we kind of feel like if they suffer, they will kind of wake up, right? If we help them suffer, or if we help them understand what they've done, they will feel bad for it, and then that will produce empathy and remorse. But to the person who struggles with self-hatred, self-rejection, that doesn't work. It actually kind of perpetuates the cycle. And they get into self-pity, they get into shame, and so what happens is they start to say, you know what, I am terrible, I am a worthless piece of crap, I shouldn't have done this, and I'm so terrible, and they start to kind of generate this cycle that doesn't help you, doesn't give you what you want, doesn't seem authentic, and actually creates more negative momentum for their own healing. I read this the other day. I thought it was a brilliant quote. It's from Brennan Manning, and he said, "The demand of crisis is conversion." What that means is the demand of the crisis that you're going through right now is conversion or transformation to you personally. That is not a platitude that says, well, hey, betrayed spouse, this is a great chance for you to own your weaknesses and just fix the things that caused your spouse to cheat. Absolutely not. However, you didn't ask for this, but you are here. And this is an opportunity to bring about healing, not just from what you've been subjected to, but maybe some childhood origin issues, or maybe some things that were going on inside of you that haven't been addressed, because as we know, infidelity shreds us. Anything that's going on inside of us, inadequacy, self-doubt, childhood trauma, it gets attacked. And this is an opportunity for deeper healing. That's not a, hey, life gives you lemons, go make lemonade and pour some vodka in it. Not at all. But I do want to tell you the demand of crisis is conversion and transformation. And if you're an unfaithful spouse, this is an opportunity for you to experience an incredible transformation to your heart, to your soul, to your mind, to everything about you, if you will take advantage of the vulnerability that you are feeling right now in life. You see, we as unfaithfuls have to go through a bit of a metamorphosis of learning self-love and self-acceptance. It is a journey that I have been on since August 26th, 2005, when everything exploded and came out. I have been on that journey, and I am so far along in that journey, but I have not arrived. Don't pretend that I have arrived, and when I mess up or screw up, I am tempted to go back to the old mentality that I used to go to, and thank God I don't. But it's taken conversion, it's taken transformation in my life to not go back to that voice of self-hatred. I read this quote the other day that I thought was fantastic. It is a quote that says, "The sense of serenity that flows out of internal continuity is what we know as self-acceptance. What a fantastic statement. The sense of serenity that emanates or flows or springs from internal continuity gives forth self-acceptance. The problem is, if we don't have internal continuity, we find it difficult to get to self-acceptance because what we've been saying or what we've been pretending is not the same as what we've been doing behind the scenes. So there's this huge disconnect and breakdown that needs to be repaired. That's where learning how to forgive yourself, learning how to extend mercy to yourself, learning how to forgive yourself, and if you come from faith or if you don't, just stay with me. Using the words of Jesus that said, on the cross, he said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." There is a point that I want to encourage you, whether you're atheist and agnostic or you come from faith, where you can say to yourself or look upon yourself with, man, I've got to forgive myself because I didn't know that what I was doing. Now I know, to some of you betrayed spouses, you've already started to hit the reply button. Stay with me. I don't mean that they were under the control of some mind power or that they were, not responsible for what they've done. What I do mean is they probably had no idea how these actions were going to devastate you, the betrayed, their family, their job, their entire work history, their finances, the embarrassment, the shame. I will tell you that 99% of all of us unfaithful have no idea what our affairs are going to do to the people closest to us, our life, our relationship with God, our relationship with you. We have no clue. So for them to be able to look upon themselves and say, man, I need to forgive myself because I had no idea what I was doing. That doesn't mean that you were a robot. You are responsible, but it extends mercy to you, that you had no idea that what you were doing, you had no idea it was going to do the damage that it has done. And even if you did have a great awareness of, man, I knew I was cheating, I knew I was going to devastate everybody, but I didn't care, I was angry, I was rejected, I was bitter. Well, you know what? There is still a point where you have to look upon yourself with mercy and extend mercy to yourself and forgive yourself for what you did, because as long as you keep hating yourself, you're only perpetuating the cycle. And because you are not able to experience self-acceptance or self-love, you're not going to be able to extend love and acceptance to your spouse, to your family, to the people that you care most about in life, because you have this huge disconnect. And I will tell you that most expert therapists will tell you that if you're not able to love and accept yourself and extend mercy to yourself, you're not going to be able to extend love and mercy and acceptance to the people that you love. I'm saying a lot, and I know it's heavy, but what you as an unfaithful are going to have to strive to do is create integrity in your life, create continuity in your life. As you work through forgiving yourself and extending mercy upon yourself, that doesn't mean that you absolve yourself of the consequences or the responsibility to help your spouse heal and to help yourself heal. You absolutely have to own what you have done and the consequences of it, but you still can forgive yourself for doing what you've done. And as you work towards forgiveness, you are then creating simultaneously internal continuity. That's why being honest with your spouse is so important. That's why having accountability is so important. That's why getting expert help to create internal continuity is so vital. It's not uncommon for unfaithful spouses to not be able to stop lying. And some of them not even know why. Why do I keep lying? I lie about what I eat or where I went or what movie I watched or how long the affair was or what have you. Well, that's another video blog at another time, but it is somewhat normal for a smaller percentage of unfaithful spouses, especially those who are dealing with addiction. But one of the best ways for you to work through self-rejection and self-hatred is to commit to internal continuity, integrity, doing the right thing for the right reasons, doing what you say you're going to do, not doing what you say you're not going to do, getting expert help. You cannot white knuckle this. You're not going to be able to go, I love myself, you're not going to be able to get there by doing that. I promise you I tried. You cannot white knuckle yourself into self-acceptance and self-love You're going to have to get expert care from a therapist who is an expert. You're going to have to do recovery work for the infidelity, which will also help. Hope for Healing on our website is one of the best programs you will find in the United States to take as an unfaithful spouse. You can find it at fairrecovery.com. It's called Hope for Healing for the Unfaithful. It is a wonderful program that I would encourage you to consider taking as soon as possible. Finally, the word compassion in the Greek comes from the root word where we get intestines or our bowels or our inner movements which move us. And when we are moved with compassion, we can establish compassion upon ourselves. We can feel compassion for what we've done and who we were, which moves us to take action. That action can also be having compassion for our betrayed partner. As we are able to extend compassion and love to ourselves, we can then help find a whole new level of compassion and love for our partner and empathy and remorse. Now, if you use those words against me, unfaithful, and you say, well, I can't really have empathy for you because I've got to find empathy for myself first, you are absolutely transgressing what I am saying. You can absolutely have empathy and remorse for your betrayed spouse, even if you hate yourself. But I promise you, as you work towards healing yourself and as you work towards finding a new level of compassion for yourself, your empathy, your remorse, your compassion for your spouse will quadruple. It will grow exponentially over days, months, and years. But you're going to have to commit to the process.